I'm sure most people watching this video experience the busyness of day-to-day life. And my gosh, this summer has been non-stop, but not today. Today is my day. And we are gonna dedicate it to photography. But here's the problem, I don't know where I'm gonna go or what I'm gonna shoot, but I do have a very handy tool somewhere in here that is gonna help me out. I reckon the hardest thing for landscape photographers are those in-between moments. The times between your epic trips overseas, those amazing snowstorms, and the beautiful colours of autumn. Making the most of those spare afternoons and weekends, I think that is the biggest challenge that faces us. So I guess today is kind of a blank slate. Like, I don't have anywhere planned to go and shoot. I don't even know what the weather's gonna do. So this is a good opportunity to look at my process when I have some spare time. I wanna go out and enjoy some photography. What do? I've not got a plane ticket. I don't have my camper van. All we have is a free afternoon and a camera. Oh, and guidebooks I often find helpful as well. I used to be quite anti-guidebook actually, but I think when used correctly, these things are brilliant. Don't open a guidebook and try and recreate a photograph. It's pointless. But flick through it for inspiration of areas that look interesting and have lots of things to offer. And I think this has more locations than I have up here, so it's gonna be a big help. So the first thing I do before making any plans is to check the weather. Now I want to shoot in this area here, which is Northumberland. As you can see at the minute it's raining, but if we fast forward to around about 7 PM, which is when I want to be shooting, you see it's not raining. There is still a bit of rain to the north, but the cloud appears to be breaking, which is great news for photography. So if we're going to be shooting somewhere around here, we might get light. There's a chance of light breaking through here, but all of this cloud is quite good. That's going to give us interest. So weather forecast is looking pretty good. It's not amazing, but it looks like there's some potential there, and it definitely doesn't look terrible. So where to go and what to shoot? Well, it's August, and that means heather might play a part in this. This time of year you get beautiful purples all over the moors and the fells, especially in Northumberland. So I'm thinking some kind of moorland, open area. If there's some sort of interest, rolling hills, some nice trees, maybe some Scots pine, some purple heather in the foreground, some rocks and boulders, that is gonna make for a great location, especially if we get a bit of light through those breaking clouds, which is honestly not looking probable, but certainly is possible. So this is where the guidebook is going to come in useful. I know a lot of areas where there's moorland and heather and rocks, but I fancy somewhere I've not been before, so I get that excited feeling and that exploration, which I enjoy so much and why I love photography. So I'm going to leaf through the guidebook, and all I'm doing now is I'm just looking at the images. In fact, we've just passed one. I'm just looking at images and looking at areas where, there we go, heather, open moorland, that's Simonside and Rothbury, which honestly I probably don't fancy because I've shot there quite a lot, but Northumberland is a big county. We'll keep going. Ooh. There we go. How nice does that look? Now, what I said before, very important, not going to try and recreate this image, but we've got heather, we've got trees in the distance there. Oh, if we get light like that, that'll be good, won't it? What's this? Heavenmore. So that, ladies and gentlemen, well, that's my process. It's pretty straightforward. Check the weather, have a rough idea of what you fancy shooting, then pick a broad area that you can explore with your camera. So, let's go. Well, this has got to be it. Heavenmore. Seemingly in the middle of nowhere, which is great. Should be littered or smattered with Scots pines, beautiful views, some crags, hills for walking. Yeah, and lots of heather, which is blooming right now. So all we need is light. If we get light, it's game on. I don't know though. I don't know.
this is nice. This is really nice. Oh, it's beautiful, nice temperature, amazing views, no light. Yeah, and not as many Scots pines as I was hoping for, but nonetheless it's still nice. But it does beg the question, when you have these snippets of free time to come out and enjoy the thing you love, which is landscape photography, there is a certain pressure to get a photograph. Like, if I don't take a nice picture, does that mean that there's no video here? That is a question I battle with every single week. But we won't worry about that, because there is almost always a photograph. I think if you're just curious and you enjoy the activity of being out, the activity of looking for images and compositions with your camera, you're always going to find an image. It might not be what you pictured in your mind's eye with that glorious burning sunset, those isolated, lonely Scots pines and the glowing heather, but there'll be something. There's always something. You watch this video, there'll be something. So I don't know if you guys have this where you come from, depending on where you're watching this, but here in the UK, we have a day that happens about once or twice per year, and it's called Flying Ant Day. So every year without fail, since I was a little kid, when the temperature and the humidity are just so, and the wind levels drops, it seems that all of these flying ants just out of nowhere emerge and completely swarm. And that's exactly what I'm experiencing right now, man. There's flying ants everywhere, all over me, all over the ground. Oh man, it's absolute chaos. Hopefully we can sort of pass through it. But yeah, it must be that day of the year, Flying Ant Day. Well, I'll be honest with you, I thought I'd made a bit of a mistake. Coming in, the flies, the incredibly flat light, and the lack of Scots pines. I thought there'd be more Scots pines. The heather, on the other hand, is just spectacular. And there is one Scots pine that I've seen. And remember how I was saying just a few seconds ago, well, a minute or so ago, that there's always something to photograph? Well, there's my thing. I don't know if it's definitely going to work, but I tell you what, we're going to try. Oh man, it is buggy today. So I don't really want to stay in one place for too long. So we'll get this shot done, just getting the tripod out. Let's have a look here. Got the X2D with a 135 lens on. I'm going to pop on my case polarizing filter, because I think we should get a nice... Where's my polarizing filter? It's not in its bag. Okay, so apparently when I was last out shooting, I was feeling quite lazy and kept it on the lens. Yeah, I think this is working. We've got a bit of foreground with the bracken, sort of that softens the edge of the frame. Then we've got all of the purple heather, the tree line, quite a dark, moody sky, actually, a lot of detail in there. So this is good. Let me just go in and get my focus on the tree. And then a 2-second timer, ISO 64, polarizing filter. Yeah. We've made the best of it. So for miles and miles around, it seems that those there are the only Scots pines, and that little one I photographed. And I did walk into those trees, but there was nothing there. I think the best shot, or the best view of those trees in this really broad, beautiful, open, sweeping landscape is from far away. Somebody left a comment on a recent video of mine, and he was asking why I always set my tripod to like head height. And often don't drop it low down to the ground to change that perspective. And the truth is, I think it comes down to how I like to photograph, like my style. I don't really like emphasizing foregrounds too much. I actually prefer a compressed landscape. And for the most part, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't make too much of a difference how high your tripod is when you're compressing the broader landscape. Of course, there are times when every millimeter matters, height, low down, left, right, that kind of thing. But for me, I don't know, I'm probably just a rubbish photographer. I don't like to keep things simple. Like, I like to see something and then shoot that thing. That's it. Not a big fan of heavily working the scene. Maybe I just haven't figured out that part of photography. I don't know. Anyway, this it just works for me. Quick lens change. The 135 is too long. Switch to a 90. And when I say quick, it'll have to be quick because the midges and flies are swarming. And I tell you what, there's nothing worse than a flipping midge on your sensor or the back of your lens. Right, fast, go. Out. There we go. Love it. Absolutely love it. So much better than the last shot. Of course, that is subjective. Let me know in the comments. And actually, if you don't mind, while I finesse and tweak this composition, let me thank the sponsor of this video, which is Squarespace. If you don't know who Squarespace are, they're an all-in-one website building platform. So if you're looking for your own website, but you don't know where to begin with building one or coding one or hiring a company to do all of that for you, well, my advice always is Squarespace. No experience needed. Just use their intuitive drag and drop system. You can even register your own domain and you can have a professional looking website. There's everything you expect of a website, like everything. So online store, nice online photo gallery, create your own members area. Yeah, it's doing absolutely nothing. Apologies. Create your own members area, and there's AI which will help you with every step along the way from creating your own copy and artwork. So if you fancy giving that a go, go to squarespace.com/Heaton and you'll get a free trial. And if you like your free trial, mind you, only if you like it, then use the offer code Heaton and you'll get 10% off your first purchase. If you want to do that, it's big support to the channel. It means they'll continue to sponsor me while I run around the hills like an idiot getting eaten by midges. Anyway, this is nice. We don't have light, but we do have mood and drama. And this is, it's quite a barren landscape, quite, what's the word? I use the word desolate, you know, and I think that the conditions really actually emphasize and suit it. Lovely. Well, I really like that image. I did. In fact, it might even make it into this year's calendar, which, by the way, is not available. I'm so far behind. Maybe in a few weeks my calendar will be available for pre-order. I do one every year. Anyway, this year I've decided I want to make a panoramic calendar. I've never done that before. Something a bit different, and I've been shooting so many panos over the past couple of years that I really enjoy. It just seems to make sense to me. So keep your eye out for that one, but yeah, a few weeks off yet. I'm pretty much behind on everything. Anyway, what I'm gonna do, rather than hang around here, because I mean this area is beautiful, but it's vast and wide open, so in terms of exploring things, there's not a great deal of, I'm gonna say exploration. It's a big wide open area. So I'm just gonna follow this road. Like, we're going old school, man. We're gonna jump in the car, drive, and see what we see. Who knows? Anything's, you know, fair game now. Anything catches my attention, and if I get nothing at all, that's fine, because I really am fond of this pano we've just taken. Right, let's see where the road takes us. You might have to bear with me on this one. I think we are delving deep into experimental territory. This is great. I was driving down this road and it's getting darker and darker and the clouds are getting thicker and thicker and the whole landscape is just, I mentioned it before, it's quite desolate, quite barren. There's these plantation woodlands and some pines that are just being destroyed and crashed to the ground by storms. And I was thinking, this is not good. We've got industrial windmills in the background. I was ready to give up. And then we drove past this copse of trees, completely destroyed, flattened. And it looks so post-apocalyptic. Yet the shape of it, the shape of the trees and the way that they're catching the light from the brighter sky over here and the heather in the foreground, which kind of comes to a point. And of course the sky, man, it's all about the sky. Oh, and actually, I think it makes quite a striking image. So this is beautiful. This will be my final image because blooming midges, man. Midges are out, it's getting dark, but I tell you what, go for a drive. Just get out. Honestly, just get your bag, chuck it on your back, pack some midgie spray if you can, and just get out, because I tell you what, you won't regret it. It's absolutely, oh, gorgeous. What a cool little scene this is. Well, hope you've enjoyed this one, guys. This is, yeah, I can't encourage you enough to get out, shoot locally. Don't overthink things too much. And in between those epic trips and those beautiful seasons, just get out and practice. You never know what will happen. You never know what you'll find. I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you're interested in photography in general, you're a keen photographer, do consider checking out the 617 Club, which is mine and Simon Baxter's photography community. It's brilliant. We have meetups, competitions, live streams, weekly live streams, special guests, all loads of stuff. I talk about it quite a lot. The new season will be kicking off shortly. And yeah, it's going to be great. It's such a good place to be and hang out and to learn as well. Of course, on top of that, I also have 2 landscape photography books available. There'll be a link to that in the description below. And one final thing, I still have spaces available on my 2026 Japan photography workshop in Hokkaido. So that's winter in Hokkaido. Oh, that is something I'm really excited about. There's a couple of spaces still remaining on that, so if you fancy it, there will be a link in the description. But for now, I am going to say goodbye and get out of the midge hellhole. And yeah, home before dark. Well, probably not, but anyway. Right, cheers. I'll see you next time, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.